Doodle-doodle. Hey, welcome back everybody. Today is the big day. That's right, the Horse Apocalypse update. The Horse update is now here in Rust Console Edition. It's very exciting. Lots of things to cover here. So either at the time of watching this or shortly thereafter today, August 31st, 2023, this update will be active and live on the current wipe that's happening for Rust Console Edition. And it brings in lots of changes. Our first real mode of ground transportation, new monuments, subtle changes across the board to other monuments, and also some other playable items that you may not see right away that are very significant, and even some old tips of the hat to things that are coming in the very near future. So this update is very exciting. So let's go ahead and peel back the layers. So the biggest thing here is, yes, you see this large monument here. This is called the Large Barn. Every map has at least two of these. Well, two monuments, two of the new monuments. One called the Large Barn and the other one called the Ranch, which is essentially a smaller barn. And they both have the same vending machine, or vendor items rather. Horse saddle for 75 scrap. Double horse saddle, that's right, that's real, for 90 scrap. Road sign horse armor for 100 scrap. And high quality horseshoes for 40 scrap. And yes, this isn't just cosmetic here. There is a shoppable section down here. And yes, you can climb up here as well. Wink! Little nice places to hide if you're trying to lose like a Zerg or a large group, whatever. But yes, as I said, this is not only cosmetic, but this is a functional shopping area for you to go down and purchase your horse with. But in order to do that, you have to step up to the vendor man up here and talk to him and purchase a single horse saddle for 75 scrap. Or you can do the double horse saddle, which is kind of nice, not gonna lie. And then once you make that purchase, you put this bad boy in your bar, and then you go walk into the barn and make a choice. Now, there are a lot of factors that kind of weigh in for the horse's speed, but really what you want to do is examine them first. Usually around the 40 and up range kilometers per hour is a good horse, so be sure to inspect it before you equip the saddle, because there are no returns. All sales are final. So this one's 38. That's not bad, I guess in a pinch. So I guess the only real advantage to the large barn to the smaller barn is that you have more horse options. And sometimes there's just a bunch of duds in here. 38 isn't terrible. But remember, one of the other things that you can do here is you can improve the horse's speed by adding things like horseshoes. And one of the major things that we can do out of the gate, let me see if I can find it in our list here. We do have the standard horseshoe here, the basic horseshoe. That's going to add 5.4 kilometers to the horse's speed. Also, things that you can put on the horse, armor. There's wooden armor, but there's also saddlebags, which means that, yes, you can make a place like a little storage box. Kind of think the rowboats and the front stash. So you can put that on your horse, but it does weigh him down. So you have to keep that in mind. I believe this is the fastest horse, if I'm not mistaken. The gray or the thoroughbred. Yep, there you go. 54, my goodness. So yes, you would, if you wanted speed, you would grab this little guy for sure. So you know what? Let's go ahead and grab him. Why not? And so a couple things to keep note of your horse. They mostly move forward, and you really, yes, they can move backwards, but the best way to kind of navigate the horse is to make sure you've got a good runway in the front. And then if you need to stop, because they do kind of coast a little bit, is you're going to hit crouch, and then they buck up like this. Is it buck or rear? I don't know which one's which, but they kick their front legs, and that's a good way to get them to stop, and they pivot. Now, yes, they do go backwards a little bit, but it's pretty limited, so you really kind of have to be careful with how you're doing it, because you can kind of get things stuck in the front side. So here's the other thing with horses. As you're running, you would push in your left thumbstick, not sure what that is for Xbox or PlayStation, and that's how you kick in your speed. And you see that lightning bolt, so you can see how that's going down slowly. That is my stem for the horse. Now, to get this back, you would stop, and then that lighter yellow is going to fill in, and then you can drop things like food. And honestly, one of the better things you can place for cheap are pickles, believe it or not. So you don't have to play the pickle game with yourself anymore. You can just feed it to the horse. And what's great is it actually charges them up quite a bit, and you can buy, I think it's 10 of them for 1 scrap at Bandito Camp. Let's double check. I think it's 1 scrap, right? Bandito Camp. Bandit Camp, where are you? I think it's up here. Yeah, so remember, you can always get those. Roadside drop box, tuna can. Is it this one here? I think it's like 10 for whatever. Anyways, so you can do that, and it really helps you charge up your horse. Now, things to keep in mind. People will steal these quite often, and here's another tip for you. As we go through, if you're trying to run up on somebody, always hook the horse left or right as you jump off, because it keeps them kind of spinning in the same zone. Otherwise, this guy's going to run off. I think he just went in the barn. That's kind of funny. Okay, that works. Come on, Steven, let's go. So that's one of the huge things that came in with this. Now, check this out. Some of the other things that got added in, we're going to try to cover here. I'm going to stay in the safe zone so I don't get completely marked. But we did have some subtle changes to some monuments. I want to go ahead and pull away from this music so it's not entirely up in our ear holes. So if you'll notice here, we've got the satellite dish. You'll notice it's up on stilts now. You can kind of see it here. And it has the road system intertwined with it. A little future preview to the maybe modular vehicles, just saying. Could very well be a thing. And we now have scientists on places like Sewer Branch, Trainyard, and I think I'm missing one more. Power plant? No, not the power plant. Trainyard Outpost. There's another one I'm forgetting off top. Airfield. And so you'll notice that you're going to have scientists there now. And you'll notice a kind of a big change for Trainyard as far as its configuration. As a matter of fact, I have a video on that, kind of another preview as to what's coming for us in the very near future. I'll go ahead and link that now in the upper right-hand corner, if you want to go check that out. But anyways, on to the monuments here. Let's finish this up. Big changes there. So the puzzles are still the same as far as like how you put them together, but there could be some subtle changes between Trainyard and Satellite Dish. But overall, it's the same type of puzzle. So just keep that in mind. And when you're running through Trainyard and all of a sudden you get shots ripped at you, that's definitely the new scientists that are populating the area and around the puzzle zones. So keep that in mind. Another major thing that got fixed with this update, and I think a lot of people will appreciate this, is the audio bug fix. Now, if there are any more audio bugs that do occur during this update, please, please, please post them to Double 11, either in the Discord or using the report system. Just make sure that you're putting those in there. We did a heavy, heavy test on all of those. So what do I mean by that? The audio bug fix was the same bug fix that actually was on horses initially. But if you think about it, for the last year or so, we've been dealing with the rowboat audio crash, or even the rib crash, where you get out of a moving vehicle on the water, or you pop out of the water and you lose your sound, like a sound crash. I think it's completely fixed, or it should be. So, with that, that's such a big deal because a lot of us kind of stayed off the water. I know we did. So it's really nice to know that they put that in there. And here's the other big fix that they put in, or addition, rather, excuse me, was this one. This has been a nice little addition. You ready for this? You ready for this? Yes, finally, we can do this. Signs are farmable, so they drop, oddly enough, road signs and metal pipes. It's fantastic. And yes, you can hit these over at the outpost with a paddle or a rock and not have any repercussions. So having a horse zipping through the road, going up and down and whacking signs, a great way to get started. So if you're a solo or even a small group, hitting signs at the outpost is such a OP move. So just keep that in mind. And all of them are farmable, or they should be unless they're glitched. So massive, massive W for us. It's just so nice they put it in. I've been checking this ever since we got the paddle, and it's just so nice to actually see it here right now. Okay, so now we have the, we talked about the NPCs that are inside of there. And here's the other thing. I actually missed it back at the stables. Let me run back here real quick. Oh boy. Same rules for safe zones. Hopefully it doesn't clip me before I get in there. Okay. So we're here now. So you'll notice there's a dude standing outside, and this is at the fishing village, the bandit camp, and both of the barns. So ranch and then the large barn. If you walk up to this guy, he's going to give you a mission. That's right. And they do vary. We'll probably have a better breakdown here, but you can get things like a pump shotgun at the fishing village. You can get things like a jackhammer. You can get things like 100 scrap, 50 scrap, gasoline, all kinds of stuff depending on which NPC or mission giver, quest giver that you actually use. And then once it goes, or once you accept it, it actually shows up here on your inventory menu. So if I go over here, hit this, go to inventory, you can see that I have my mission there. And you'll see on the compass there should be, if there is a location I have to go to, you'll see it show up as a piece of paper. And you know what? Since I have the deer one, you won't see that. So essentially, in this quest, I have to go and smoke 3 deers and then bring it back to the mission guy, and then I get 100 scrap. Really great way to get started. So if you're starting late on a server, or you're just getting crowded out, so you're starting late on the server, this is a fantastic way to kind of bump in there and just get ripping. So yes, in the future, there will be more mission givers here at this large barn and also at the outpost. But as far as I know, last time I talked to Double 11, they did say that all of the mission givers that are relevant to the content in the game are currently in. So future quest givers, yes. As far as when, have no idea. So yes, the horse update is so massive. There's so many good things. So if you've taken a while before you played, or it's been a while rather since you played Rust, give it a chance. This is going to be a really good wipe. A lot of fantastic stuff that's happening. The horses are awesome. And check this out. So the next big content update, or actually I would call it more of a feature, right? We do know after horses are going to be custom servers this year. So we're definitely on custom server watch right now. So if you want to know more about custom servers, it should already be up on the end screen now. And hopefully we'll see you in the next live stream /video.